Once upon a time, in a cozy little cottage on the edge of a great green forest, lived a sweet little girl. Everyone who knew her loved her, but no one loved her more than her grandmother, who lived on the other side of the woods. One day, her grandmother gave her a beautiful little cap made of red velvet. It suited her so well that she would never wear anything else, and so everyone started calling her Little Red Riding Hood. One morning, Little Red Riding Hood's mother called her and said, "My dear, your grandmother is feeling unwell. I've packed a basket with some cake and a bottle of juice for you to take to her. It will help her feel much better. Now be a good girl and go straight to her house. Don't dawdle in the forest, and most importantly, do not talk to strangers." Little Red Riding Hood promised her mother she would be careful, took the basket, and set off on her journey. The path to her grandmother's house went right through the heart of the forest. The sun was shining brightly, birds were singing sweetly in the trees, and colorful butterflies danced in the air. Little Red Riding Hood was so enchanted by the beauty around her that she soon forgot her mother's warning. She thought, "Oh, what lovely flowers! I'm sure grandmother would love a beautiful bouquet. It's still early, I have plenty of time." So she skipped off the path and began picking wildflowers, venturing deeper and deeper into the woods. As she was gathering a particularly pretty bunch of bluebells, a deep voice startled her. "Good morning, Little Red Riding Hood." She looked up and saw a big gray wolf with clever, shining eyes. She had never seen a wolf before, so she wasn't scared at all. "Good morning to you too, Mr. Wolf," she replied politely. "And where are you off to so early in the morning?" The wolf asked, his voice smooth as honey. "I'm on my way to my grandmother's house," she explained. "She's not feeling well, so I'm bringing her some cake and juice to cheer her up." "And where does your grandmother live?" the wolf asked, trying to sound friendly. "Oh, it's just a little further into the forest," Little Red Riding Hood said innocently. "Her cottage is under the 3 large oak trees." The wolf's mind started racing. What a delicious meal! The grandmother first, and then the tender little girl for dessert. He walked alongside her for a little while, and then said, "Look at all these beautiful flowers. Why don't you gather a few more for your grandmother? She would be so delighted." Little Red Riding Hood thought that was a wonderful idea. While she was busy picking the most beautiful flowers she could find, the cunning wolf dashed ahead, taking the direct path to the grandmother's house. He arrived at the cottage and knocked on the door. "Who's there?" called the grandmother from her bed. "It's me, Little Red Riding Hood," the wolf said, pitching his voice high to sound like the little girl. "I've brought you cake and juice." "Oh, wonderful! Just lift the latch, my dear. I'm too weak to get up," the grandmother replied. The wolf lifted the latch, burst into the room, and without a moment's hesitation, he bundled the poor old grandmother into a closet and locked the door. Then he put on her nightgown, her cap, and her glasses, and climbed into the bed, pulling the covers up to his chin. A little while later, Little Red Riding Hood arrived at the cottage. She was surprised to find the door wide open. A strange feeling came over her as she stepped inside. Usually, she loved visiting her grandmother, but today everything felt different. "Good morning, grandmother," she called out, but there was no reply. She tiptoed to the bedroom and saw her grandmother lying in bed, looking very peculiar. "Oh, grandmother," she said, "what big ears you have." "All the better to hear you with, my dear," the wolf replied, trying to mimic the grandmother's frail voice. "And grandmother, what big eyes you have." "All the better to see you with, my dear. But grandmother, what big hands you have," she exclaimed. "All the better to hug you with, my dear." "Oh, grandmother," she whispered, getting closer, "what a big mouth you have." "All the better to eat you with," the wolf roared. He leaped out of the bed and was about to gobble her up. Little Red Riding Hood screamed as loud as she could. Luckily, A woodcutter was passing by the cottage at that very moment. He heard the scream and thought something must be wrong. He rushed inside, and when he saw the wolf, he knew exactly what had happened. He bravely confronted the wicked wolf, and after a short struggle, he defeated the beast. He then heard a faint knocking sound and opened the closet to find the grandmother, safe but very shaken. Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother were overjoyed to be safe. They thanked the kind woodcutter with all their hearts. From that day on, Little Red Riding Hood always remembered her mother's words. She never strayed from the path and never, ever spoke to strangers again. She learned a very important lesson about listening to those who love you and being cautious in the big, wide world. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.